Northeast really members and welcome from the community that this was an important conversation to have, and we just would like to acknowledge those of you who text or email, who reached out to us to say that you were watching the work that is happening in the Northeast, and it would really provide a very meaningful opportunity to engage as we organize for effort around COVID-19. So welcome so much. We know that there are so many things that you could do on your Sunday evening, and the Northeast Diaspora, we thank you for joining us today. At this time, we're going to ask Bishop Bartley to lead us in our opening prayer.
Thank you, Dr. Dunkley. Eternal God and everlasting Father, in the precious name of the Lord Jesus, we come before you one more time, thanking you, God, for health and for strength. And in light of the pandemic, Lord, we just give you a praise for that. Father, we thank you, Lord God, for the country Jamaica, a place of our birth. God, what ties us together, God, is that Jamaica has raised up a set of citizens with a concerns for its culture and its custom and for the country at large. We thank you now, Lord God, for everything that you have allowed Jamaica to accomplish in this season of the pandemic. God, the fact that the country has handled the situation exemplary. Father, now as we gather, God, around this conversation, around this town meeting, please, Lord, give us your wisdom, give us your mind, give us your understanding. Give us the people, God, that will join us an opportunity to be able to share their heart and for us to hear it. We thank you now for every person on this Zoom call, Lord God, who is committed to one cause, and that is lifting up in the country called Jamaica. We thank you now in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Bishop Bartley. So again, we want to welcome all of our attendees to our community forum, Jamaica Diaspora Northeast. My name is Dr. Karen Dunkley, and I'm the Jamaica Diaspora Northeast representative on the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. The context for this evening's meeting, I would like to begin with a quote from the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey: "A people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots." And during this unprecedented time of COVID-19, it's important that we hearken to our culture and we hearken to our roots so that we can choose faith and facts over fear and brace for impact, especially in light of the devastation that will happen and is happening in terms of the financial and emotional. So we will prepare. We're not doom and gloom. We will emerge stronger and smarter as a diaspora together. Allow me to introduce the members of the Northeast think tank. We have a most brilliant and diligent team, and we are so blessed as a people and a country to have these individuals who support the strategic planning, thinking, and implementation. Two pieces of business, just so everyone is clear. This morning I woke up to the email and text messages, and collectively on email over 15 requests, and in text messages over 10 to 12 messages to live stream the event because people were not sure how to access the community forum on Zoom. So we are live streaming on Pure Jamaica, a partner of ours. It's a page that I manage. We're also live streaming on the public, Karen Dunkley, Northeast Diaspora Rep, and we've asked the think tank members to please make sure that you do your watch parties and you also live stream from the page. For those of us who have joined us, please feel free to live stream this event as well. This is your time for us to hear from you. This is your community forum. So we will present some very brief updates, and then we will pivot to the conversation around economic empowerment, development, and education. We will also have featured remarks from our community leaders, as well as all representatives who have a question or would like to share insights and or feedback. At this time, before we introduce ourselves, I would like to see if our honorary counsel, Mr. Christopher Chaplin, is he here? If he could kindly bring remarks.
Hi, Karen. Good evening, everybody. Hope all is well. I see a lot of old friends and new friends on the forum. Thank you for hosting. My remarks will be very brief. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Dunkley and the entire team for the work that has been done over the past 2 months. I think when the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and the government of Jamaica thought of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, I think no one would have thought that it would have been put to the test so quickly and so deeply. And I can tell you that the response has been tremendous. I think most of us know our airports were closed from March 24th. And so we had any number of stranded Jamaican students and stranded Jamaicans within the Northeast, across the whole entire United States. And certainly your team has come together and helped those students and helped those stranded Jamaicans. We've been working diligently together, and we've included such organizations as the Union of Jamaica Alumni Association. So I think this was our dream. We didn't expect it to happen in this fashion with a pandemic, but we've come together as one body, one unity. The foreign missions, certainly Ambassador Marks and the embassy in DC, Consul General Alcion Roach Wilson, and the consulate in New York, and my consulate here in Philadelphia. And that was a dream from the start, that we operate as one united body. And I can tell you, I've spent many days on the phone with a number of stranded Jamaicans in Philadelphia, and I've had any number of ladies crying, and we're really facing really tough times here in the US, because a lot of them are hotel workers who were expected to live in Jamaica, have to spend their money now. And I can tell you that your organization, without hesitation, stepped into the breach and helped students, and we're working together to help to deliver groceries. I know Karen has been delivering groceries, I've been delivering groceries, and Consul General Alcion Roach has been on the road, as you know, making sure Grace Kennedy and other providers, their groceries get to people. So this is what it's all about. It's not for ego, it's not for fame, not for fortune. We're here to help people. And as I said, I'll be short. Let's keep doing it. We have a bit of ways to go. The airport, I don't think will be open till June. I don't know, but it appears that way. There may be 1 or 2 flights going in the next couple of weeks, but we do have work to do. And again, keep up the good work. You have my full support, our full support, and I'll be on for the duration of the forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, our Jamaican people, that is certainly and was our honorary consul, Mr. Christopher Chaplin in Philadelphia. And just to bring greetings on behalf, certainly thank you, honorary consul, for your remarks. And we are standing by to hear from our Consul General, Alcion Roach Wilson, and she will join us as soon as she is able to. Thank you so much. So by way of introductions, we just like to set some norms for our meeting today and just be really clear about the goal, the objective of today's forum. The norm is that we will certainly, our norms, 3 norms, we'll assume best intentions. We will be active participants, including listening and talking, and we will be respectful. And on that note, with our norms, we're going to invite you to certainly engage us through the Zoom chat. Zoom chat moderator is Ms. Marie Burbick, who also is our pro bono communications advisor. If you have a question based on something that you've heard, a feedback or comment, we will absolutely, this is your forum, reserve the majority of time for you to share your perspectives and ask questions. But just so that you don't lose it, please feel free to enter the question in the chat. For those who are listening via the telephone and you're not able to plug in, visit us on the website if you've heard something that you need us to clarify, or if you would like to get engaged at www.janed.org. And Marie Burbick will continue to post that, and we will say throughout the program to remind you to enter. So again, I'm Dr. Karen Dunkley, Jamaica Diaspora Northeast Rep. At this time, I'd like the members of the think tank to introduce themselves. We have what we call our state personal contacts. Some say they're state chairs. And we have 14 states within the Northeast. And we have these individuals. They communicate, connect, and collaborate with the organizations and individuals in these states so that we're able to really engage with our community to support the needs here stateside as well as at home, and we build together for national development. So at this time, I'd like to just invite them to say their name and their state. Let us begin with Connecticut, Delaware, and then we'll follow by Maine, Maryland, and Massachusetts. So that's Donovan Longmore and Michelle.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle McKitty Bromley. I am the State of Connecticut's co-chair. Welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Donovan Longmore. Along with Michelle, I am the State of Connecticut representative, and we're both co-chairs, doing well for our community.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Curtis Ward, and I'm in Maryland.
Hi, Ambassador.
Hi.
Thank you. Dr. Payne and Mr. Andrew Sharp, if you could introduce yourself, and Ms. Michelle Tinglin.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Payne Borden, and I'm the state chair for Maryland. Thank you.
Yes, greetings. I'm Andrew Sharp. I'm the state chair for Massachusetts, Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Michelle Tinglin and Ms. Sandra Smith Esquire and Donahue Bailey, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Tinglin. I am the state chair for New Jersey.
Thank you, Donahue Bailey and Sandra Smith Esquire. So we're waiting for Donahue. Go ahead, Sandra.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Smith, New York State Chair. It's my distinct pleasure to be here. Thank you, Dr. Dunkley, for all the hard work you've done to bring this to fruition.
Thank you. And then we have Mr. Desmond Ranglin from Rhode Island. We have Vanessa Butler, Virginia, and Michael Campbell, Washington, D.C. and West Virginia. Are you able to come in, Michael?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Campbell, and I'm the state chair for Washington, D.C. and West Virginia. A pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Vanessa, are you able to come in?
Certainly. Good evening, all. My name is Vanessa Butler, and I am the state representative for Virginia. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And our final state personal contact, our state chair is Desmond Ranglin. Desmond, are you on? So Desmond Ranglin is also the president of Jamaican Association of Rhode Island. So those are our state chairs. We also have our sector leaders. Within the Northeast Diaspora, we have 4 sectors which we focus on based on feedback from the community. We have an education sector, and I'm going to ask Iris Reed to introduce herself. We have our Northeast Health Sector, convened by Ms. Claudette Powell, who is the chair. And we also have our faith-based sector, and we heard from Bishop Bartley earlier. He will reintroduce himself, and Stafford Grant, and they will each bring remarks and details and updates about the work within the sectors a little bit later on in the program. So we just would like to talk about the goal for today is to begin a dialogue where we can have a strategic plan, where we brace for impact. We certainly know that we came in and we had really grand plans, as Honorary Counsel Christopher Chaplin mentioned. You know, we were going to go to each of the states and do round tables and bring together, have a convening and have everyone come and meet with the other reps within the United States. COVID-19 had other plans, but again, we are a resilient people. So we pivoted to having this virtual forum so that we could really discuss, share with you what we have done in terms of our response to COVID, hear from you what it is you think we should do, and again, brace for impact around economic development and empowerment in education so that we will emerge stronger together. So on that note, I just like to share with you who we are, because I've heard some people say, what do the state chairs do? Lord, am I a member of the diaspora? And we're here to tell you, yes, if you live anywhere outside of Jamaica, you're automatically a member of diaspora. Diaspora just means anyone who live a foreign. That is who diaspora is. So it's not an elite club. All of us belong to diaspora. And we thank you for your support and your insights, because it belongs to each of us. We are inclusive. As a leader, I think it's important to be inclusive and to collaborate. And we want to just let you know that if you would like to engage again, you could visit the website at www.janed.org. So I wanted to share with you what we have done so far, invite the state chairs to present what has happened as a unit across the state, and then invite the leaders to bring specific updates, and then we're going to hear from you. It's your meeting. 2 points, we're non-partisan. So we're not aligned to any political party. We work with whoever is in office, and we're volunteers. This is not paid. I know some people say, boy, we're working like we're getting paid, but our payment is to nation build and support Jamaicans here and to support Jamaica. That's our pay, to ensure that we build our beloved Jamaica. So at this point in time, I'm going to share briefly what we have done. I came into office January 1st, 2020, and the think tank convened, I would say, within the month of January as well. The first thing that we did is that we wanted to build an infrastructure for engagement and collaboration. So we implemented a website, www.janed.org. We implemented 2 email addresses, and we continue to certainly partner with our consulates and missions and embassy, as we heard our Honorary Consul Chris Chaplin mention earlier. We also implemented the state chairs so that within the states across the Northeast, individuals would have someone that they can connect with. And 2, as it pertains to diaspora business, we have sector leaders. We spoke again, and you'll hear from them: education, health, crime and citizen security, and the faith-based community. The Northeast health sector really had to hit the ground running, baptism by fire, because we had to implement so many programs in response to COVID. One of the key things to highlight and to say thank you, and Ms. Claudette Paul will go in depth, but really just to highlight, we were able to donate 595 masks to Jamaica, and Golden Cross was a key partner. Dennis Shipping, Norma Jarrett, and Wesley Watson, and Bill Tinglin. And so we really want to salute our partners who helped us. We have provided assistance to over 60 international students who were displaced. Just last night, Michael, you can verify that we did receive some text messages from young people who need assistance. So we wanted, the true heroes are not us. It really has been the community, the Dr. Jacqueline Paynes, the Carmita Albaros, the Desmond Wranglins. These are the individuals who have assisted, and all of the churches that have come on board. So thank you, who have opened up your homes. What we believed, my dear people, was going to only take place for 2 weeks. We asked for temporary housing for 2 weeks, turned in to now almost 2 months. I think we're at 2 months. We're inching into 3 months. I want to commend Miss Lorraine Smith. Lorraine Smith was an integral part of helping us to organize our International Students Assistance Program. She also initiated our mental health support, our emotional health support, where we have provided counseling services to students and now to adults as we are going through COVID-19. Importantly, this was interesting. We have received many phone calls for counseling services and support from Trinidad and our Guyanese cousins. So we were just really thankful that we were able to support not just our Jamaican students and adults, but also our Caribbean community as well. We want to shout out again to our faith community, regardless of religion or denomination, because we've had to increase our food pantries and the demand. To really give one specific example, Bishop Hewitt Coward, right here in Philadelphia, we started out each week doing 400 meals. And during COVID, we saw an increase of 300 families additional per week. So Bishop Cohen at Remnant Church of God's Seventh Day on Ogons Avenue, shouting you out, Bishop, is really now at 700 families, the majority of Jamaicans. And we know as Jamaican people, we are proud people. But however, if we need help, we have implemented resources across the community to provide assistance in partnership, certainly with our councils, our embassies, and our faith community and organizations. On our website, www.janed.org, we implemented a COVID-19 assistance 19. If you enter your zip code, it pulls up whatever federal programs, local programs, and state programs are available around bill payment, around any grants if you're a small business, around healthcare insurance if you need it, and around food assistance. So again, that still exists. It's up to date. And it actually, we have seen people as far away as Alabama, Alaska, and Florida actually enter it because they send a message and they're finding it, www.janed.org. It pulls up based on your zip code assistance that is available for you. We wanted to communicate with you, so we do have a newsletter we published in January. We will provide a comprehensive report, a mid-year report, so you will know what is happening state by state and sector in June. Our domestic violence initiative launched early this year. We were saturated because of COVID, so we did not continue as diligently as we needed to. But what we have done is we have continued to provide support for individuals because we saw an uptick in the demand or request for support. Apparently during the quarantine, the incidence of domestic violence, there was an increase. And so we've continued to, as best possible, provide support. I'm going to now invite Ms. Sandra Smith Esquire to share what we have done around our immigration support, all pro bono. Thank you, Ms. Sandra, because we know the lawyer them expensive. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about our immigration support. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dunkley. Thank you. I'm Sandra Smith. I am an attorney here in New York. And I want to thank you all again for logging on to this Zoom Make We Talk, of course, spearheaded by Dr. Dunkley. Right now, we actually are doing free consultations with our office in association, of course, with the Northeast Diaspora up until June 30th. There is a lot going on, Dr. Dunkley, as you know, and all those listening. We all know that our President Trump came out with a proclamation, an order regarding an immigration ban. Right now, we're having closures with USCIS and the consulates overseas. We're to think about also how these closures are going to affect immigration services. There are lots of questions coming in regarding public charge and Corona. Of course, we all know that in February, there was a new public charge rule that came into effect February 24th. Lots of persons have questions regarding Corona and how, for example, accepting healthcare services will affect their immigration status. Of course, we also have permanent residents who are currently abroad, unable to come back. Will their green cards be affected? These are the questions that persons are asking. We also have to think about the CARES Act and how it has impacted our immigrants, our Jamaican nationals. Additionally, of course, we're talking about persons who are here on visas, persons who are unable to return to Jamaica, they've probably overstayed. Those are the kind of issues that we're seeing in our offices. And not to also forget to the DACA recipients, that's also a major topic here. So Dr. Dunkley, there's so much, of course, when most questions come in, we can address them, but there's a lot going on and we have to stay tuned. You have office number, of course. You can, if you need to, persons can call in office. It's free consultations until June 30th.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Can you just say the office number again? You came in a little scratchy there.
The office number. Okay, so the office is 212-400-7147. 212-400-7147. Sorry, 7147. And I want to mention also that all our staff are working remotely, but we are available for phone consultations, and also we can actually do a lot of the work remotely. So we're available, and if you need to call us, you can contact us 212-400-7147, or you can also text us at 718-795-6672.
Thank you so much, Sandra. And at this point in time, we're going to pivot now to our stage chair so they can share, and then our sector leaders, and then we're going to turn over to you, our participants. We have 14 people on the telephone, so thank you so much for joining us by phone. We're trying to find a way to connect with you if you have a question or a comment if you're on the phone. If you're on the Zoom, thank you. We see we're at certainly up to 130 plus participants. Please just raise your hand if you have a question or comment. Stage chairs, beginning with Vanessa Butler, followed by Andrew Sharp, and then Donovan Longmore. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dunkley, and thank you all who are in attendance. We appreciate your support and are here to support you, the diaspora. My name is Vanessa Butler. I am the Virginia representative for the Jamaican Diaspora in the Northeast, and I am joined by my two colleagues who represent the DMV collectively, and that would be Dr. Jacqueline Payne, who is our Maryland representative, and Michael Campbell, our representative from Washington, D.C. So thank you all for our contributions and our collective effort. As challenging as COVID has been for this area, it has created many opportunities for our community to grow stronger and more resilient together. The DMV has worked together to leverage our collective will and resources to support each other during this period of need. From organizations such as JNA, that's the Jamaican National Association, led by Dr. Lane Knight, and GEM, Jamaica Association of Maryland, led by Mr. Rick Nugent, both of whom are on the call and will speak a little bit more about their specific fundraising efforts, but certainly they've been very present and vigilant in our community in supporting and advocating for the needs of our diaspora. Additionally, the Partners of Good Shepherd, led by Joy Dufour, whose mission is to assist the poor and infirmed in Jamaica and marginalized communities. They have contributed and identified sources on the ground in Jamaica, PPE and medical supplies that they can donate to communities such as Mustard Seed Community and other faith-based organizations. HOGS, as they are known, considers it a privilege to be able to serve the poor and the needy of Jamaica. So as much as any funds that they are doing, any funds that they receive through fundraising efforts here in the US and the DMV area, most of 90 to 100% of those funds are then distributed to the communities in need in Jamaica. The DMV area also has contributed to make we help one another. Dr. Jacqueline Payne, who has led that effort in the DMV, has supported and provided accommodations to 7 students who were displaced by COVID and were unable to return home as a result of the restrictions, border restrictions, to return home to Jamaica. So Dr. Jacqueline Payne, again, want to thank you for your contributions and certainly your tireless efforts to assist those students. The DMV continues to work with our community partners, advocates, and allies in support of our local small businesses. Later today, we'll focus and have a discussion and hear your thoughts around what next, how do we move forward? And one of my colleagues, Carlene Sinclair Robinson, who partners with the SBA, will be online and will be able to articulate and speak more about some of the resources that are available, as we know that our small businesses have been gravely impacted. But we continue to support them as best as we can. On the mental health front, Dr. Leonie Brooks, who is a professor of psychology at Townsend University, has continued to provide guidance and insight. She is particularly, her particular emphasis is looking at second and third generations and the impact that being removed from YARD and the impact that it has on them. So Dr. Leonie Brooks has continued to provide guidance in that area. During this period of COVID, we have, can I share that we've also lost 2 stalwart leaders within the DMV community, 2 intellectuals. We offer our condolences to Dr. Leopold Edwards, who was the co-founder of the Caribbean American Intercultural Organization, as well as Dr. Paul Chen Young, who was a renowned economist. We give thanks for their contributions, and equally, I want to leave on a positive note. We give thanks to all of our students. So many of our students have not received the proper recognition and weren't able to get the acclamation for their accomplishments of graduating from our universities. Locally here in DC, we have Howard University, and I've actually interacted with several of the students, so I'm just going to quickly name just a few of them. Shanice Sinclair, Tajay Sharp, Melissa Douglas, Giovanni Garwood, Brianna Plowright, Noah Black, Tariq Cranston, Cody Williams, Shumba Brown, DeAndre Leroux, and Janelle Nelson. So again, we are here in the DMV area continuing to support our community and wanting, if there's anything that we can continue to do in support, please reach out to any of the 3 of us in the DMV area, your representatives, state representatives, and of course, Dr. Dunkley is also here to support you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Congratulations to our graduates again. Andrew Sharp.
Thank you very much, Dr. Karen Dunkley, and greetings to everyone who is on this call. I want to big up the team for such a great work you guys have been doing, and as we continue to do to promote Jamaica and Jamaicans here. Friends of Jamaica, my fellow Jamaican, I am Andrew Sharp, chairman of the Authentic Caribbean Foundation, and the New England region consisting of Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and I'm the state chair for these areas. I'm happy to provide you with an update on the work of the Jamaican Diaspora members and organizations in these regions. The New England region is the 4th largest Caribbean community in the United States, with Jamaicans National being the 3rd largest community. Some of the areas in which our community resides are in Massachusetts, Boston, Brockton, Cambridge, Everett, Randolph, Springfield, and Worcester. In Maine, Portland, Freeport. In Vermont, Burlington. In New Hampshire, Manchester, Nashua. Our community includes restaurants, supermarkets to shipping companies and shopping centers, NGOs, faith-based organizations. We want to list some of our Jamaicans organizations in the Massachusetts region, and they are Jamaica Associate, JUMP, COJO, Authentic Caribbean Foundation, Celebrate Jamaica Incorporation. For the past several years, these organizations has provided support to our communities, including farm workers in Vermont, Maine, Cape Cod, and the islands, Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. Also to our disability community through programs. Celebration of the Jamaica Independence, education mission, which includes back-to-school drive to support our Jamaican schools. And last but least, engagement with various cities and state representatives. Our short-term and long-term plans are collaboration and engagement within the Jamaican Diaspora Organization in New England and the network, increase health and education mission to Jamaica, provide and update data on the Jamaican community within this region, increase support to our Jamaican students and H-2B workers, increase awareness about the presence and role of the Jamaica diaspora, strengthen the interaction and relationship between the New England diaspora and the Jamaica consulates. We are reaching out to all our Jamaicans who are living in the New England region, get involved, join our team. We are here for you. We're so happy, and I'm happy to be your state chair, and just want to remind you to complete your census 2020. We count as Caribbean Americans. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrew Sharp. Census 2020 is a big initiative for us in the Northeast, and I know certainly that Mona Lee will speak a little bit later on. Thank you so much. Mr. Donovan Longmore.
Thank you very much, Andrew, Vanessa, and to you, Karen Dunkley, for the great job that you've always been doing. And we here in the diaspora, especially in the Northeast. I am Donovan Longmore, along with Michelle McKitty. I am the co-chair for the state of Connecticut, but I'll be representing New York, the tri-state area, and Philadelphia for the time being. Question have come up, how do we live with COVID?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, not Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you. Question arises, how do we live with COVID-19, especially in times like this? We realize that we're a very resilient group of people. Nothing comes our way that can't survive. And as Jamaicans in the diaspora and abroad, we're here to make sure that our family, friends, and loved ones are well taken care of. Here in Connecticut and the other states around, we are having, lots of food pantries. Churches are very involved, and we're giving away food every week. I'm involved with the two major churches here, First Cathedral and, of course, the Bloomfield Congregational Church. We serve over 500 people every week, and we make sure that we're there Friday and Saturday to give them the meals and give them groceries as well. So we do thank each and every one for participating. Also, we're looking at our students. There was a great tribute, like Vanessa and Andrew had said, to our graduates for 2020. And Barack, LeBron James, and them gave a wonderful tribute. But we're here as well, trying to make sure our students are well prepared for school coming up in the fall, as they say. And also, we're trying to make sure that those who are going to summer school, because there will be some summer school, whether online or virtual classes, but we're making sure that everyone is well prepared and taken care of. How do we help our children throughout this COVID time in terms of, mental illness and stress that they're going through, because they are very vital. They are our future, and we have to make sure we shape them as well. We're also looking at businesses being opened up. We have to get our economy back on track. Here in the state of Connecticut and the other tri-state areas, the governors have already put in place where they have loans that's available for small businesses. You can just go on the government website, and there you can find all the information you need. Here in Connecticut, we have, of course, portal.ct.gov. You can find all the information about school, about loans for small businesses. As you know, we're going to be opening up barbershops, salons, a couple of restaurants, and other places like churches and bars and stuff like that. So it's also happening in Jamaica. And I just want to make sure that we understand the fact that, yes, we do give out remittances. And as you can see, lines from, JN or Western Union or MoneyGram have been increasing, and they're getting more people coming into Jamaica now. So we're going to have at least help our fellow Jamaicans, and by, giving back. And of course, that's coming in the future. We'll see the dollar is going down, but at the same time, we understand that all this costs money. Another thing that we're focusing on is the fact that we have to realize that next month, June, Connecticut is very large in this thing. The Caribbean Music History Month, and of course, Jamaican History Month, Caribbean American Month. And Dr. Claire Nelson is a trailblazer behind this. So we'll be working with her to try and ensure that we have some of these activities that always happen, continues, whether by virtual promotion or whatever we're doing, but we're going to make sure we keep that going. Connecticut is known for having one of the biggest and largest and longest running independence celebration in the entire North America. Of course,
30 seconds, Donovan.
Okay, this area is being the biggest of all in terms of the Northeast, and we're here to make sure that our people are well prepared and well taken care of. So I thank you guys, and we're going to be here for you guys, and no matter what happens, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. And we want to certainly encourage those of you who are listening. We see that you're putting in the chat, Dr. Elaine Knight, president from the Jamaican Nationals Association of Washington, D.C. So again, please look at the chat and respond and collaborate with each other. At this time, we're going to invite Ms. Claudette Powell, our Northeast Health Sector Chair, to certainly share everything that has happened in terms of our COVID-19 response.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the community. I'm Claudette Powell, Chair of the Jamaican Diaspora Health Sector here in the Northeast. I'm saying Northeast, but we're taking the lead of the health sector in the diaspora. Jamaicans in the diaspora contribute significantly to our homeland. Health and wellness are two of the outreach areas. The Jamaica Diaspora Health Sector Northeast is comprised of individuals who volunteer their expertise, time, and resources toward the health and well-being of Jamaicans in the diaspora and also in Jamaica. Members are generally health professionals, but anyone can join as long as the mission is embraced. The health sector's goal will be aligned with the United Nations 2030 sustainability goals. And that is, it's a global goal to achieve health and well-being. And so the health sector would like to help our homeland in achieving that goal. So we have targeted 4 areas. One is infrastructure. There's so many things we could talk about that, but time does not permit, but I want to highlight one area, the Adopt a Clinic initiative that was launched by the Health and Wellness in November 2017. In a nutshell, what that is saying, the ministry has identified approximately 100 clinics on the island that are asking for assistance, persons in the diaspora to adopt a clinic. You can find out later on, we'll give a phone number if you want to get more details. And the reason behind that, right now, persons are going to the hospitals for primary care. So if we get these clinics up to par, get them in good shape, that will take the strain off the hospitals so that hospitals can focus on true emergencies. Little later on, Ms. Sandra Smith, who was our first adoptee here in the Northeast, will share her experience adopting a clinic in Westmoreland. The second area has to do with procurement of equipment and supplies. Now, I don't think Jamaica is lacking the diaspora's response in this area, but we here in the Northeast will continue this tradition, but more so to provide guidance to persons as far as following the protocol. So often you hear, we ship something and it gets stuck on the wharf. Well, we want to let you know that if you follow the right protocol, you will have least resistance. So the diaspora here in the Northeast will take that lead. The third item has to do with health services. Medical missions go to Jamaica every year. There are about 200 medical missions from the diaspora that go to Jamaica. And several of those missions are members of the Northeast diaspora. To name a few, the Jaja Foundation, the Caribbean Medical Mission, and the Organization for International Development. The Northeast on the health services has spearheaded mental health and domestic violence interventions. So aside from all the other services that are being rendered in Jamaica, such as medical, surgical, and dental, we are now added mental health and domestic violence. And the fourth area has to do with professional development, continuing education, and nursing workforce development specific to specialty areas. And I'm throwing that out there. If some of you are listening, we need help with that. How to get our Jamaican trained nurses to come to the United States for specialized training. I want to mention Michelle Tinglin, who is on the forum, the head of the Sweetwater Blossom Foundation, who has begun virtual clinical training with fourth-year nursing students at the Western campus of the University of the West Indies. The Jamaica Nurses Group of New York, here in Brooklyn, will collaborate with the Nurses Association of Jamaica in working towards a professional development. And now with COVID, there's several things I could tell you, but what we have done recently for COVID, public education awareness, and everyone knows you have to educate everyone. We all need education. We've heard so much about the preventative measures. I think we could close our eyes now and repeat what we're supposed to be doing. Hand washing, the sanitizing, the social distancing. So the health sector made sure that we took part to get the message out. And also in Jamaica, some of what we did was also shared in Jamaica. The public awareness campaign was mainly on radio and social media. We were also participating in media interviews. The press, you could see many articles where we were interviewed. We were on TVJ in Jamaica, featuring our frontline workers here in the United States. We support our frontline workers by feeding them. And on May 14th, the health sector donated 595 masks to the Ministry of Health and Wellness in Jamaica. Distributions of masks to the faith-based community here also in the Northeast. So we have a lot of seniors who just cannot get out to get masks, and this was given to churches so that the seniors could have their masks. We provided medical services. Earlier you heard about all the people who got stranded, students and adults who got stranded, but they also had medical issues. And so we got phone calls of persons who did not have medications or persons who had to be seen by a physician. And I have to commend Dr. Robert Clark. He took the lead for making sure most of those persons received the medication. And my organization, Jamaican Nurses Group of New York, we followed some of the persons by making sure there were virtual clinic appointments scheduled. Because, you know, most of these clinics, you cannot go out now because of COVID. And we had a very successful story that came out of all this. And to add, this lady is now in Jamaica, and I received a call from her the other night. She's one of the persons being quarantined at the hotel, and it's amazing. We don't do work to be recognized, but when I got that phone call, and she shared what Dr. Dunkley and Michael and all the other persons who helped her, and she kept saying, Miss Claudette, I thank you, I thank you. Then I realized that we are doing what we're supposed to do for the diaspora. Now, we are planning.
30 seconds, Claudette.
Okay, we're planning a series of health forums to go along with COVID, and next week, Sunday, will be the first one. The theme is staying resilient during COVID and beyond. You will get more information. The flyer will be out soon. And so to conclude, the Jamaica Diaspora Health Sector acknowledges that building a sustainable, healthy society requires thoughtful and strategic planning, engagement of community stakeholders, and interfacing with other sectors. We are committed to engage with the government of Jamaica, non-partisan, no matter which government is in, we're going to work with them, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Jamaicans in the diaspora here and abroad, to achieve excellent health and wellness that we all deserve. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Claudette, and special acknowledgement to all the members who sit on the Northeast Diaspora's health sector, the doctors, the nurses, and Lorraine Smith, Michelle Tinglin is here, and many of these individuals are on the front line, including yourself, Claudette, and Michelle and Lorraine, Dr. Dixon, Dr. Morgan, Dr. Reed, Dr. Clooney, Dr. Clark. Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to invite Mr. Stafford Grant. We're going to hold to the 2 minutes so we can now begin to engage with our community. As Blaine Stoddard has put in the chat, we all need to be connected. So we want to pivot very quickly over to our attendees. So go ahead, Mr. Grant, 2 minutes, and then Bishop will summarize, and then we will open up for to Ambassador Ward to set the context for the conversation around economic empowerment, so that we can have an action plan, which is why we're here today.
Thank you, Dr. Dunkley, and hi to each and everyone. As she's mentioned, my name is Stafford Grant, and I am the Chair Security Coordinator for the Northeast and also the President of the Jamaica Ex-Soldier Association, New York. It was a great honor for me to accept as the chair, as the Citizen Security Coordinator for the diaspora. Now, Just New York has been operating in the tri-state for over 12 years, and we have been serving the community, trying to assist and mobilize all the youths in the community. Mostly we work with the 47th precinct in the Bronx that on an annual basis, we help with the back to school supplies. Now, since we are here working in collaboration with the diaspora, we have extended our community engagement over to the parish of Westmoreland, of which we are working in collaboration with Bishop Bernard at the Central Tabernacle Deliverance Church and the superintendent of the community division. So we are trying to put a plan in so we can have a strong engagement in the community to have the youths more engaged in some community activities like trade, learning centers that they can do a lot of computer works,
So we got to try and get the good ones before they get too hit it with the bad habits that's going on. So we try to do as much as we can. COVID has put a damper on our vision, but regardless of that, we are still going through. We got some plans for a mentorship program to work here in the tri-state and to extend it over into Jamaica. So I'm asking each and every one to support us, Jamaica Ex-Soldier Association in New York, so we can get to mobilize more and engage our youth, not only here in the tri-state, but extend it over into Jamaica. So we are looking forward to work in collaboration with each and every one. We will be accepting your suggestion, your ideas, so we can be stronger. So
thank you so much, Stafford. Right. And I know, Bishop, I know that Mona Lee Belisar, who is our Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council leaders here. So we want to create a space to hear from our younger people. And even Delani Northover, congratulations to Delani. He graduated from George Washington University, and he reached out based on the work that he saw us doing to say he wants to get involved and work with us. So we're going to welcome Mona Lee to share, and then Bishop will close us out, and then Ambassador Ward, please stand by so we can structure a conversation this evening to develop an action plan so we brace for impact economically around COVID. Mona Lee.
Great. Thank you, Karen. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mona Lee Belisar, and I serve as the Regional Youth Leader in the Northeast on the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. I want to thank everyone for thinking it not robbery to join us this afternoon for this very important conversation. Just want to briefly share about the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council, which I'll abbreviate as the Youth Council moving forward, and talk about some things that we have done as it relates to COVID as well. So the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council is a youth-led initiative, and our main aim is to really engage young people that are in the Jamaican diaspora. We want to connect them with each other, but we also want to connect them to Jamaica. We want to give them the opportunity to learn more about Jamaica, to learn more about the things that are going on in the diaspora. And we also want to take a specific focus on second, third, and fourth generation young people that are in the diaspora. We came into this, we started the Jamaica Global Diaspora Youth Council last year after the diaspora conference that took place in Kingston, Jamaica. And we absolutely hit the ground running with our first event last year, October 3rd. Just we've been mobilizing and galvanizing young people in the different areas. We move forward with having a census informational webinar on March 1st of this year, where we had some young people that served as panelists to really talk about the importance of the census, dispel any myths about the census. We also had the opportunity to hear from individuals that have been in the diaspora space for a long time and how the census really impacts our people, and to finally encourage young people, no matter where they are, and even encourage their parents to ensure that they complete the census. And so I do want to take this opportunity to encourage everyone to complete the census as well if you have not done so as yet. Right after March 1st, the March 1st event, then COVID came. But it did not stop us. It did not stop our forward thinking and our forward movement. And so what we have done collectively as a body, as I said, we are a Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. So everything that we do, we think about it on a global level because it affects all of us. And so we've been really moving forward with our quarantine with a purpose campaign, where we do live IG events such as Foodie Friday, Motivational Monday. We have a workout Wednesday. We also have a Soul Food Sunday. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to have a mental health advocate that we had a discussion with to observe Mental Health Awareness Month, because we do understand that with all that's taking place with COVID, and I know my fellow colleagues have mentioned this as well, mental health has become it's always been important, but it's something that's been paramount at this point, and especially in our community, we don't talk a lot about mental health. We don't talk about the impact things that we are experiencing. And so we just wanted to take the opportunity to make space for that. We do have several upcoming things that are upcoming. We're going to continue with our Quarantine with a Purpose campaign because we know people are still home. We know that some of our young people are home and they're home alone. And so we want to engage them on that in that space. Finally, I want to share that if you are not connected with us via social media, I ask if you're on social media that you check us out at Global JA Youth, excuse me. We are on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and we're also on Facebook. So please check us out, follow, like, retweet, share all of our posts. We're doing great work. We expect to continue to do great work. I just wanted to also ping that as it relates to COVID-19, we had the opportunity to support some international students as well by providing them with gift cards, as well as some monetary funds. And thank you, Dr. Dunkley and the rest of the Northeast team for assisting us with that, because we were able to ensure that those young people were served in that capacity. So thank you all so much again. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Mona Lee. And I see we're saturated with questions on Facebook as well as on the Zoom. So we're going to invite Bishop Bartley. We've also had major requests to extend. We will only extend maybe for an additional 10 to 15 minutes as well, because we do want to honor certainly your time. So Bishop Bartley.
Yes, hi. My name is Bishop Bartley. I'm senior pastor of True United Church, and I'm just honored to be able to serve here on the diaspora. I'd like to thank everyone who has joined online. Certainly, your support means everything to us, and certainly we're here to support you. In the faith sector, we have been focused on primarily 3 areas, all of which are infrastructure related. The first area that we have focused on is to universally, this is our mission, to universally provide resources to churches and faith-based groups in our particular sector and in our particular region, so that information flow can occur to residents. Ultimately, many times people look at the churches, they just look at the building, they look at the people who go there. But the reality, our churches are filled with community members who live within our communities and who have been who are facing this COVID-19 issue and all the impact that it has. So one is our universal mission to provide resources to residents. Secondly, is to unite church groups and faith-based groups, to unite them so that in this particular pandemic and the effect of COVID-19, that churches and other faith-based groups do not get marginalized. It's so easy in this environment we exist in for faith-based group to be left out of some of what is occurring. And so I have been diligent to make sure that, for example, in things like the PPP initiative, to make sure faith-based group and nonprofit groups have the opportunity to navigate that landscape. Secondly, helping to leverage the strengths, to unite churches, and then ultimately to leverage their unique strengths. Every church group, every nonprofit group bring its own strengths, bring its own capabilities. And so my sole mission is to identify those strengths and to be able to leverage it across the diaspora so that the small and great are able to benefit together and work together for a common cause. Listen, this pandemic has put us in a place where churches have to now navigate through a virtual space, something it has never done before, never had to deal with before. And the reality of that is impacting our churches, nonprofit, and faith-based group. And so our response has been to be able to help bring information, bring education, and last but not least, certainly bring inspiration. We've included strengths like the food programs right here in Philadelphia. Instead of starting other food programs, we started directing people to the food program and also asking for volunteers to help in the food program, so that we can have boots on the ground assisting. Why rebuild the wheel when somebody has already built it and have an infrastructure for it? We're real proud of the fact that even during the pandemic, we have been able to provide resources. For example, we've been able to provide resources of cash assistance to people who are stranded here, who came here to work, and all of a sudden they're not working anymore, to provide residency. And in addition to that, we've even been able in the faith-based sector to be able to provide partial stimulus packages to undocumented people. That's a big deal and something that we're very proud of. Listen, I could go on and on. We participated in the Census 20, drove that real hard. And in addition, when we recently had the COVID-19 fundraiser for Jamaica, we mobilize what churches do best is get information to congregation members and to residents. We mobilize members through our information system to be able to participate, to give, and that's what churches do. We know how to give. And again, these are some of the things that we have participated in or driven or spearheaded as a part of the faith-based initiative sector. Lastly, I'll say this, as we move around to the second round of PPP and things of that nature, we are offering opportunities to be able to teach and support nonprofits so that they don't get left out because they're unprepared or unable to navigate this space. All right. Again, these are just some of the things that we're doing in the faith-based sector.
Thank you so very much, Bishop Bartley. And again, as we pivot to the conversation about how do we brace for impact from the economic perspective, if you do need support, contact us at www.janed.org and input your email address and name so we can include you on our MailChimp, and you can reach out to us for technical assistance. Our guiding question for our community forum for this evening is, what can we offer now and post-COVID-19 to brace for impact in terms of our personal economy and our community economy? And so we do know that the unemployment rate has certainly increased, that we will experience loss of jobs. And as we rebound, we will definitely be impacted. We have many of our small businesses that exist, or restaurants or barbershops, they also will be impacted. I think Business Insider stated that less than 30% of restaurants are expected to survive post-COVID-19. We also do know that many Jamaicans live within what we call the informal sector, or here they call it the gig economy. So I'm going to, at this time, invite Ambassador Ward. And if Mr. Garfield Cumry's on, we need to also address the remittance issue. But let's pivot to Ambassador Ward and Mr. Cumry, and then we're going to open up to participants to give us their feedback around what resources, technical assistance, and information do we need to brace for impact now and post-COVID so we can develop a strategic plan. Thank you. Ambassador Ward and then Mr. Cumry.
Thank you, Dr. Dunkley, and thank you for having this discussion. You have quite rightly stated that there's going to be considerable continuing economic dislocation in the post-COVID-19 period. Right now, we are heavily concentrated, and as I've listened to each of the state chairs and the different sector chairs, we are heavily concentrated on what we can do now to bring immediate relief and what we are doing to bring immediate relief. But there's going to be life after COVID. And according to the projections and what we are seeing throughout the communities, it's not going to be life back to normal. It's going to be quite different. And the question or questions that we face is, how do we prepare ourselves as community leaders to bring the kind of support to our members of our diaspora, as well as the businesses that operate within our vast diaspora communities. Some of these businesses may not make it to the next side of COVID-19. And many of our diaspora members can't even work from home when these businesses fail, because the kind of jobs that they have are basically in the service sector. I know there are mentions of barbershops, restaurants, and so on. There are also quite a number of our nationals that work in hotels. They work in large restaurants, not just our neighborhood restaurant. They work in the travel industry. They work in any number of areas that will take quite a bit of time to rebound from COVID-19. How do we plan for that? No one of us have the answers. And one of the recommendations that I have is that in each diaspora community across the United States, the current civic organizations that we have in place aren't really geared towards service in the community in the sense that we are going to require that kind of service. There are already, even before COVID-19, a number of programs that are available through county, city, and state governments. But most of our organizations are not established or organized around getting those kinds of funding and delivering the kinds of services that are required to members of our diaspora. And this is going to become even more pronounced in the post-COVID-19 period. The unemployment rate as it is officially is about 15%. The true unemployment rate is much higher than that. When COVID-19 is no longer the emergency situation that it is now, the unemployment rate will probably go down to about 7%. Now, who will comprise that 7%? How many members of the Jamaican and Caribbean diaspora will be in that 7%? I believe a large percentage of our nationals will be. And while we will get a respite from the immediate delivery of assistance during COVID-19, the kind of help that many are going to need, paying their rents, their children will be getting ready to go back to school if schools are open, and a number of other issues they're going to be faced with. And we have to, Dr. Dunphy, I believe we have to begin to have concentrated focus on the post-COVID-19 period. Some of the things that we are doing now across the diaspora will have to continue. It also means where are the funds going to be coming from to support many of those initiatives? Because I know when you have a fundraiser, many of the people who support these fundraisers are the same people who are now unemployed and who will probably be unemployed in the post-COVID-19 period. So financial resources are going to be constrained in many ways. And we're going to have to find other ways of making money, gaining funds, accessing funds and services, and making sure that members of the diaspora are fully aware of these possibilities. But there's no quick answer. And this is going to undertake coming together to really think this through, identifying what are some of the expected problems that we are going to be facing. And once we identify those, then we have to come up with some solutions. And that's the most that can be offered in this particular forum. We have to organize around planning beyond COVID-19. Thank you very much, Dr. Dunphy.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Ward. So we heard some critical questions. Where are the funds coming from and to organize around COVID-19? So we want to pull in, we have so many individuals on this community forum and so many are community leaders. We have Dr. Knight, Blaine Studdard. We have Jazz, I call her. We have Deacon Cheriton. So I just want to invite everyone. I'm not going to call everyone's name. Please don't beat me up. But come in, Aubrey Campbell is here, and Derek Scott is here, and Patrick Maitland. And just this is for everybody, not just the people whose names, because there's 156 on the Zoom and another 20 plus by phone, and I'm getting messages on Facebook. So please know we want to open up to hear from you. What should be a good next step? And thanks for inputting the information in the chat, Karen. We did see that about the SBA paycheck program. Is Mr. Comrie here? We should address the remittance issue. Mr. Yes, Garfield Comrie? Oh, thank you. Welcome. Can you speak a little bit to that, sir? Because that is huge. I know for me personally, and this is not being facetious and I'm not being funny, I have not been able to extend myself as I normally would to organizations that I support at home just because of what's happening here. So what can you share about the remittance, sir?
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Dunkley, thank you very much. I don't really know, Mr. Garfield Comrie actually represent the Northeast for Grace County Money Services and Western Union from 2001 until present, so almost 19 years. Don't know if everybody knows me, but good evening to everyone. Just to let you know that, I'm sure you know this, that remittances to Jamaica are significant in terms of GDP, and especially since this year, seeing that the tourism sector is down, we think people are really gonna have a tough time in Jamaica as we speak and are having a tough time. But I also want to, on behalf of the company, reach out to those families here who have lost lives and, you know, condolences on behalf of Grace County and Western Union. We want to continue to tell you that we are encouraged by Grace County just published their results, the first quarter results, and remittances are still strong. So thank you to the diaspora. I know we are a resilient people. We have been through 9/11, through the last recession, and here we are. This is the toughest, unprecedented, but we continue to see some form of, not necessarily growth, but on the same level for the first up to end of last month, because people are still, you know, if you have $100, you're gonna send 20 or 30 because we have our families back home. So people are still sending, and what we have done from Western position is to reduce some of the fees. So if you go online, for example, our fees are now $2.99. So we reduce the fees, and also if you go to some of the locations, you'll find that they're getting better payout rates. So your families in Jamaica are getting more for their money. And we have also, in terms of helping to reduce on this side, on the send side, persons going to locations, we have to make sure that we encourage persons to stay home from their homes, to send money from their homes. And people have been downloading the Western Union app, as well as using online services to send money back home. Thank you very much. Persons as well have been able to start sending money to their receiver's bank account in Jamaica, which is critical for those persons who actually receivers have their BNS or Scotia Bank or First Global Bank account, or Sagico or First Cabin Bank. We have been encouraging that kind of direct to bank send, where you can go to our Western services and send directly to them within 24 hours. That has been working well. And we have seen it on the news where Senator Dunleavy mentioned that in the week, that persons, we have seen a massive increase in the number of persons who are actually sending money to their bank accounts, or to their bank accounts in Jamaica, or the receiver's bank account in Jamaica. Critical. Thank you very much for that. Now, I know there's a global prediction of 20% decline for remittances overall. There's going to be the challenges ahead, but I just want you to know that Western Union and Grace County Money Services, we are here in the diaspora. We continue to be here. We want to work with you. Our Grace Foods arm has done quite a bit in the last couple of weeks in giving away almost 5,000 persons who will benefit from the food program next 2 to 3 months, which is critical. And also to let you know that our lines in Jamaica that you've been hearing about all week, those lines are no longer there. There are only half of the network in Jamaica that are those long lines. So I want to correct those persons in the media that those lines are not there anymore. In fact, we have paid out 80% of the GOJ Cares compassionate amount of money in Jamaica. Thank you to our customers who have selected us, because customers could have chosen a bank account, they could have chosen Western Union, they could have chosen, I can call the other names, but a majority of Jamaicans chose us. And we were able to reduce those long lines in Jamaica to encourage social distancing. And we certainly we continue to do so. But for persons who want to receive money in their bank accounts, we now are asking you to go online to our gkmsonline.com. That's gkmsonline.com to register your bank account. So if you're here in the US and you have an account in Jamaica and you want to send money to pay bills, you can do that. Or you can tell a receiver to go to that website and select digital registration. Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate that this last minute for giving me this opportunity to speak. And like I said, we are ready, always, and available to work with the Northeast. I see big things happening down the line, but you can always count on us. We're going to be there to sponsor and to work with you throughout these difficult times. Thank you very much. Whenever you're sending money back to the Caribbean, choose Western Union because we are moving money for better, and choose Grace Kennedy because we do care. We care. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Comrie. At this point in time, we will now invite feedback, participant comments. I just want to acknowledge those who have sent messages via Facebook. I've heard the messages about the environment, water, how do they engage with us? And we're not ignoring these issues. We're inviting you again to sign up on www.janed.org, and we will have a space if you want to organize in one of our work groups in the sector areas. We look forward to engaging with you. We just want to have a strong action plan coming out of this meeting around the preparing, as Ambassador Ward has cautioned us around post-COVID-19 now and post-COVID-19 economically. So let's open up certainly to our attendees. Please raise your hands so that Raul, thank you, Raul, he will know to unmute. So you could raise your hand if you have comments, feedback, or insights about what infrastructure we need to offer. Thank you. And Raul, you could just unmute people as they raise their hands.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Sterling. Thanks, Michelle McKinney, for inviting me. My question is about the mental health, which is Mental Health and Homelessness Awareness Day in October. It's normally October 9th. My sisters and I volunteer. Last year, we went to Mandeville and volunteered. We did the homeless bath and meals. And then we walked the community and spoke about mental health, because we're trying to get the conversation of mental health to not be, you're mad, you're crazy. And for people to not associate homelessness with also mental health. People fall on hard times and they're not necessarily mad. Our problem was when we got to the airport, we had a letter from the RSVP president. And we had this letter saying that we were a part of the charity. And when we got to the airport, they wanted us to pay for the stuff that we had. So I'm trying to figure out, how do we get to be able to volunteer and bring stuff? Who do we get in contact with so we can volunteer and do what we want to do as a charity and not have to worry about when we get to Jamaica that we'll be charged for it?
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much for your question. I'm going to ask that you send me a direct email. I'm Karen Dunkley at nediaspora@gmail.com. We do work with the National Education Trust, and we have been very successful. I know Michelle has. We actually did a shipment for several schools prior to the lockdown from COVID, and every item was cleared. They're very professional, and they are attached to the Ministry of Education. If you email me directly, nediaspora@gmail.com, We will work with you to ensure that you have the paperwork in order and that you're not charged if you are volunteering as well. Thank you. I see Andrew Clark from Brata is reminding us not to forget the arts. Thank you for that, Andrew. And we'll ask you to attach yourself to our education sector. Thank you. I think Mr. Baldwin has his hand up. Mr. De Silva.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. First of all, I want to say thanks to organize such a wonderful meeting. Very informative. Very nice. I'm new to this group. I heard about diaspora all the time, but it seems to me like it's very inclusive. It's not exclusive enough. Where a lot of people. By the way, I'm coming straight from Brooklyn, New York, and I would like for I don't know what what person like you who's the head of the Northeast Council can do to make sure that more people can get informed and just reach out to the organization and can so that we can act as one voice on these issues that are so important to people like myself they live here in the Northeast and people in Jamaica. But so this is the concern that I have going forward. How can we make this organization more exclusive, so that more people can get informative? By the way, there's a program that comes on Power 106 called Diaspora Live on Saturday morning. The problem though, it comes on at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And Saturday morning, I don't know who gets up on Saturday morning Eastern time. I try to listen. I try to listen, but very few times I can get up at 6 o'clock Saturday morning. I don't know if we can do something for them to change that time. I'm pretty sure it's designed for people who live in England, because of course at that time in the morning, 6 o'clock would be maybe 12 o'clock in England. I was throwing a number. So I don't know if you can do something for them to change that time so it can be more conducive for people for people in the Northeast.
Thank you so much for your feedback and comments, Mr. Bulgin. And this is not a Karen Dunkley show, so I'm going to certainly invite, there are many community leaders here and many members of the think tank who know that we have certainly confronted this challenge of how do we engage with individuals in the diaspora so that people are more connected, certainly more inclusive. And certainly, Mr. Bulgin, what you have done today, just being on the forum, sharing it with your friends and engage in your network is a first step. We are committed to building an infrastructure for engagement. And so we want to reach people, whether it's via WhatsApp, via social media, via their faith, organization, or community. So I think I'm going to ask again that everyone here, please go to www.janed.org and sign up for the newsletter. And then you can also connect with us about what sector you would like to serve in. And if you're not an email person, just email us. And if you'd like for us to include you in a WhatsApp group, we will absolutely do that. And if you're attached to an organization that you would like for us to collaborate with, please let us know and we will follow up. It's Mr. Bulgin, what you have just articulated is not a technical challenge. It really is adaptive. Only COVID-19. COVID-19 has impacted how we communicate with each other. And so it's so important that we share the information, we pass it down the lane, if you will, through all communities. And it's the people like the Tamar Newmans in Brooklyn, the Natalie Silveras, the Patrick Maitlands, the media, the Derek Scotts and the Chris Chaplins and Dion Poises. I see Donovan West, who is the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce here in Philadelphia. And it's the Blaine Stoddarts, it's the Dr. Elaine Knights and the Barbara Wilsons and the Donahue Baileys. So that is what we do. It's each one, the Andrew from Brata who's here, and the Jazz, and Brother Johnson from From Joan, Jamaican Organization of New Jersey, and Deacon Samuel Sherrington. Mr. Bulgin, what they did, we sent out a MailChimp. Brother Johnson, the village pastor, he emailed. We have called him, we've kept in touch. He sent me his book today, and that is how we keep the community together. And we want to thank our media partners, our Orby Campbell, the Lester Hines, the Conroy Allisons, the Derek Scotts, and the Patrick Maitlands, who keep us going. So thank you. We will always, it's adaptive. We always need to do better and be stronger in communicating. And you're right, that's where it's for everyone. And this is why sometimes I don't want him to say, oh, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer. You could be anyone. And you can be unemployed. You can be a housekeeper, a custodian. You can work in the restaurant. Whatever you do, you are Jamaican, you're ours, and we're in the village together. Thank you. Next question or feedback or comment?
Karen.
Hello. Hi, Karen. I thought I'd just address Mr. Bulgin's question. I think it's a very relevant question because I think historically that has been a concern of a lot of people, that the diaspora grouping was very, and I think he meant to say exclusive rather than inclusive. So the perception is that it's a small group of people trying to run things. And I think the government was very deliberate last year in setting up this council, because the whole point was to try to make it more broad-based and more inclusive of everybody. One of the things I've always, come to understand about life is that the more different ideas, the more different voices you get in the room, the better the outcome is. So there has been a deliberate attempt to get it to get very inclusive. I know from the point of view of our consulate here in Philadelphia, we've always tried to reach out to a wide variety of people. I know Consul General of New York City. So, Mr. Bulgin, your point is well taken, that in order for us to get where we need to go as a team together, we have to be have a broad-based viewpoint. So believe me, we do understand.
Thank you so much, Honorary Consul Christopher Chaplin. And as you have articulated so well, as Consul General Wilson would say, it takes all of us reaching out across the community. So thank you so much.
All right.
3 participants with hands raised. Yes.
Karen?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so, great question from the gentleman just spoke. One of the things, especially here in New England, it has been asked before, how are we going to be able to reach out to our own Jamaican diaspora? And we're doing so, and we encourage everyone else who are stakeholders, is a grassroots approach. So we have reached out to our local restaurants, where a lot of Jamaicans are, they are supporting, get them involved, let them know more, reach out to even to the dancehall community. Many of the local DJs are Caribbean or Jamaicans. So interacting with them to let them know, here we are as a support arm. We have heard from even a gentleman who works in the passport, who does photos, passport pictures, and a lot of Jamaicans go there. So we have been putting together a strategic plan on our outreach effort to our local Jamaicans who are here in the New England diaspora region.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And I see the alumni associations have texted me. I'm not sure who is here, but I just want to certainly give a shout out to the Jose Marti alumni. I know that UJ is here. I'm not sure if Carlene Largy is on, but just to shout out the alumni who have come out and who are giving us feedback around the economic question in terms of doing live streams and workshops. Thank you so much. Dr. Nelson, I see you have a question. So I'm going to ask Raul to open up for the 3 participant hands raised, and then we'll revisit Dr. Claire Nelson from the Institute for Caribbean Studies questions.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you.
I have a question. My name is Teresa. I don't know if it was already addressed regarding family members who have passed away in Jamaica, and they're unable to go down to, funeralize that person. I heard that there was a list that you have to be on. And when is the country going to be open, Jamaica going to be open so people can go down and funeralize their loved one? Has this been addressed yet?
Thank you so much, Miss Theresa, for coming on. It is really good to see you. I'm going to invite our Honorary Consul Christopher Chaplin to respond to this question.
Sure, thank you, Karen. And Miss Teresa, so sorry, from the passing of your loved one. I know a lot of my friends have faced that issue. In terms of the country opening up, the scheduled date, and this was scheduled some time ago, was May 31st. To the extent that there is not additional outbreaks of the pandemic, and so far so good. In the last week or so, the number of cases have not dramatically increased. I think there's an expectation that the country will open up just after May 31st. I know the airlines have started taking bookings for starting June 1st. So there's that expectation. In terms of a list, I think you might be referring to the ability to go on the Jam COVID website and register. So I know of a number of stranded Jamaicans right across the United States. There might be students, there might be hotel workers who are stranded here. And they have been given the ability to go on this website, register, and be given the ability to travel before that date. As recently as last week, there were 2 flights, one out of New York, 96 people, one out of Florida, 96 people who went down to Jamaica. And so to the extent that you have somebody that needs to go down before June 1st, I can give you my number. I can send you the information of the website where you need to register. But I believe based on the available information I have now, and God willing, that won't change, that we have an increased number of cases. There's an expectation that the country, the airports, will start opening up on right after May 31st.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Our next question, feedback, or comment. And just a reminder, as the person is coming in, that, and thank you, Marie, I know that we do have the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Chris Tufton, who will be on 93.5 FM with Lester Hines and Erwin Clear on Fact of the Matter that starts at 8 p.m. So we will definitely end on time, at least and earlier, so that we can join Lester and Erwin as we converse with the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Chris Tufton. Next question or feedback.
Hello.
Hi, Delani.
Yes. First, I just want to say thank you all for coming here and, sharing your feedback with everybody here. It's very essential, especially right now, with all that's going on with the pandemic and the economic ramifications that everybody is facing right now. I just want to say, I'm a part of the youth. In fact, I just recently graduated from the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And, times are tough. And I just want to just let everybody in this group know, please reach out to the Jamaican youth that you know. Please reach out to them and try and also connect them to this group as well. Growing up, especially in the United States, as a Jamaican, it is essential to have that Jamaican diaspora around you. Not only to to make you feel at home, to have that that great support, but also the Jamaican diaspora here understands the experiences that many youth who are growing up in the US are going through. And it's essential for everybody here, I believe, to talk to everybody that they know, talk to all the youth that they know, and let them know things are going to be okay. And also share, resources that can help them. Because I'll tell you this right now, when I was at university, if it wasn't for the support that I got from, my relatives and the diaspora I knew in Washington, D.C., it would have been a completely different experience. Many Jamaicans who go to university or even just come to the US have no understanding of the networks and the resources available to them if they need help. And that was one struggle that I had my freshman year. But if it wasn't for me reaching out, I would have just been oblivious. So I just want to let you know that, if someone doesn't feel like, reaching out, don't let that be a reason for them not to get the help they need. I want to encourage all of you to reach out and, help youth, particularly, someone like me who are graduating and, trying to find jobs. Like, you can be someone to, you can help build their network and connect them to other professionals in their field. Please do this because, like, it's very uncertain times right now, especially for these young adults. I just want to let you know that just talking to them and being a reassuring voice that alone is incredible. But you can also do way more than that just by having a conversation with the youth. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Delaney, and congrats on your graduation. So we'll take another question. I just want to address, because the chat and my text has tons of questions. One recurring theme is around the needs in Jamaica around distance learning and access to technology. We have launched a partnership with the Sam Sharp Teachers College, where we're going to tackle those issues at the Teachers College level, at least beginning with Sam Sharp. So we're going to tackle access to technology, coupled with using the technology to inform instruction, as well as social and emotional learning, because we know and we understand that as young people return, including the teachers and the professors, they will have to manage their own stress as well as the trauma of the students. So the answer there is yes. And it's
Dr. Dunkley, I just wanted to say something very quickly, sure. Delani. Delani, again, congratulations on your accomplishment. I, as part of the DMV team, and any members of the council are here to support you, and the think tank are here to support you in your journey. Again, my name is Vanessa Butler. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great resource for professional networking. So please reach out to me. I'm glad to talk to you. I've spoken to several students, but just know that I'm here. I'm available as a resource and glad to assist in any way possible that I can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And Tracy said to students here, Tracy, yes, the answer is yes. So again, if you're interested in serving on the education sector, the health sector, or the crime and security sector, or the faith community, please email us at www.janed.org. So we have at least 7 minutes remaining. I know that we have Carlene, Pastor Beldeo. I'm not sure if you have some feedback, and we still have 2 hands raised.
Karen, may I say something? I've had my hand up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can't. Yes, I have Raul is controlling. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Karen, for the invite to share here. My question, I'm going to share something, but my question is, tell me a little about the structure and reach of the Northeast response to the COVID crisis. And just before you respond, I'd just like to share a little. I'm Megan Scott of Maggot Wild Horse Consulting, as well as the community of practice for Caribbean immigrant entrepreneurs. And as such, our COVID response have been focused on entrepreneurship, as well as social and economic development in host to home country and back. We have completed 5 series of our COVID-19 business threat seminars, which saw a number of speakers, presentations, panelists, and research for helping us find out where our business is. This has been global. what we need to do. And we have, in our last session on Thursday, shared a core periphery network governance model plus market mode for providing support. Our modules included strategic planning, risk intelligence is the core of what our program is grounded in. And we were told, do not break it. Just continue, because we intended to take a break. So those who are running the nonprofits and need that support for finding the resources that we have not been able to touch and to deliver to communities at home and in the diaspora, we invite you to join those sessions. The entrepreneurs, the consultants, we invite you to join it. We have gone as far as the agriculture sector. We have gone into one amongst the last speakers was Criff, who shared a wealth of information on climate finance risk solution, including liveliness insurance and solutions from the street side vendor right up to the farmer and so on. So that's what I have to share. Plus, we have the BIDM 2020 trade show and conference, through which you can further expose your businesses, coming up in October. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan. And we met during the Agri Forum, facilitated and moderated by Mr. Patrick Maitland. So we certainly look forward to engaging with you. What I will do is provide you with a comprehensive report, because we did that at the very top of the program. So we really wanted to reserve this component. We only have a few minutes left to get the feedback in terms of the reach of the COVID-19 response. Also on the website at www.janed.org, it outlines all of the services and supports that we provide to the community, including the assistance tracker, where individuals can enter their zip code to get help on bill payment, rent assistance, mortgage assistance, and any state, federal, or local government program. You can go ahead, sir. We see that some hands are raised.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ken Cyrus, and I have a quick question. Oftentimes, I've received phone calls from various persons within the diaspora asking if there is an easy way to get goods to Jamaica and without having to go through the red tape, and how they can avoid paying excise duty.
Thank you. So again, if it is that the goods are going to charity, and this is a verified charity where the paperwork is in order, we can work with them to have the goods shipped and cleared by the National Ed Trust. They've been very responsive. And if you could ask them, Mr. Cyrus, great to see you. Kindly email nediaspora@gmail.com, nediaspora@gmail.com. Thank you. So I just wanted to summarize. We're 5 minutes, so we're going to actually pivot to Jazz and Dr. Nelson to talk a little bit about the collaboration with the Institute for Caribbean Studies around answering this question about how we are engaging with other communities to plan post-COVID. But this has been the response from Facebook and via the chats in terms of our anchored topic for this evening. We certainly have spoken about many things, but our strategic plan. So we have seen individuals are saying that maybe we should do live streams, that we need to have workshops for individuals and small businesses, that we need to have a technical assistance team. And I know that Bishop Bartley did mention that earlier, that we need to develop a post with all the contact for all of the supports around personal economy, as well as for small business relief to access the SBA paycheck program or to apply for grants and different aids. One also suggested that we have a directory where we list the different type of aid that is available in each state for individuals and small businesses. So we're going to organize this in a strategic plan. Again, email us if you would like to serve on the work group. If you are a small business owner or you're an individual and you really are interested in this work, as Ambassador Ward highlighted, this becomes critical, especially as we continue through COVID-19 make sure that you reach us at www.janed.org. We want to attach a timeline that we will compile this plan. We're going to have a work group meeting for those who email, so we can have a deeper, more extended conversation and really calendar the events and outline the information we need to communicate to the community. So we're going to have a timeline of a 2-week turnaround. So we would like to convene next week because these grants are coming in fast and furious, as well as these different types of assistance. www.janed.org. I see participants' hands are raised, so I'm going to invite, let's take it really quickly because we want to go and catch the minister on Irwin and Lester's program, and shouting out to Dervan Malcolm, who certainly, Mr. Bulgin, keeps the diaspora informed through his live each Saturday morning. Thank you. So we'll take 2 quick comments, and then we're going to pivot over to Carlene. Jazz will give reflections, and anyone else who would like to summarize. Carlene Largy, are you visible?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you for having me on this evening. Really appreciate the work the diaspora is doing to support all aspects of the Jamaican community being in need of support, whether it's from the personal side, the business side, the healthcare side, all of that. Where I fit into helping business owners especially in the Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. metro area, it is very important that business owners in the Jamaican community really look at reaching out to the local sources. And those local sources could start with the small business administrations, small business development centers, women's business centers, veterans business outreach centers that are locally managed and operated through some nonprofit organizations. Like, for instance, as a part of what I do, I support businesses through the Community Business Partnership, which is a longstanding organization in the Northern Virginia region, which is also considered a CDFI, which is a Community Development Financial Institute through the US Treasury. So you want to pay attention to what organizations are locally based, supporting small businesses, and reach out to those organizations that can support the businesses, support that individual business owner based on the need. It might be counseling services where they're looking at where you are, what are the things you can do to pivot, whether you're using more technical support, or how can you get goods to whatever service you offer, whatever that case might be, that you can get the information or product to a client or customer. You also are able to get access to capital, which is the critical part of what I do. I can tell you right now, I am knee-deep, waist-high, supporting businesses right here in Fairfax County in the Northern Virginia area with a $2.5 million loan fund that the county approved last month. Interestingly enough, we got over 30 million, nearly 31 million in requests for funding within literally 3 days. Because of that, the county went further and said, you know what, this is not enough doing a $2.5 million loan fund. They decided and went further. On Tuesday of this past week, the county approved a $25 million grant fund that is going to come out later next month to help business owners, nonprofit organizations, and a variety of sources to get access to grant funds to help them stay in business or support the mission of what they do in the community. So those who are in the DC, Washington market, keep looking out to see what else is coming. And not just this area, up and down the East Coast, across the country, counties are stepping up. And so pay attention to what your county is doing. I heard the mention of the zip code and the zip code factor. Use that to help find resources within your community. Reach out to your churches. My church actually offers a variety of support through all these various nonprofit organizations that support, whether it's a food program or support for students with issues. And you mentioned the mental health, all of that plays a role in how we help business owners too. Here's what we're facing. So I'll be frank with you. I get emotional about this because on a couple different sides, we have business owners who are literally right now considering committing suicide. I've had to deal with that on a personal level. And so I truly understand the challenges business owners are facing. And so where there are resources, we need to guide folks. We need to be out there talking about it. And that's why I actually showed up this evening to be here to help in whatever way. And if anyone needs support, just reach out. Like Vanessa said earlier, we're on LinkedIn, I'm online. Just reach out to us, ask questions, and anything that we know of, we're sharing. There are a variety of programs. There are international programs that are also based here in the US that can help with access to capital. And we know that is the #1 priority right now, next to mental health. It is vitally important that whatever mental health information can be shared along with the access to capital need, because it is the reality of where we are today. And like our ambassador said earlier, what is going to happen post-COVID? So we are in the middle of the storm, but we have to also think of when we come out of the storm, how we support business owners. Again, I'm Carlene Sinclair Robinson. I'm here to support the diaspora in whatever the mission is and our community. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. So at this point in time, we are going to conclude. Just a few closing remarks. We can't acknowledge everyone. We know that you could have spent your time anywhere. You chose to spend it with us. We want to thank each and every one of you for your tremendous support, and we will issue a public thank you. Thank you, Blaine. I remembered and then I forgot, but we know that Oliver Clark, the former chairman of the Gleaner and Jamaica National, died a few days ago, and he was a champion for the diaspora. So certainly our condolences go out to Oliver Clark, and Aubrey had us earlier on today and mentioned that as well. So we are going to express our condolences to individuals who have lost family members. I know that we lost a cousin to COVID-19, but we're not all doom and gloom. As much as we have lost members, we also rejoice in the recovery that has happened in our community. We applaud the frontline workers, many of whom are here, the Claudette Powells, the Michelle Tinglins, the Lorraine Smith, who are on the call. And if we missed you and you're a frontline worker, we applaud our graduates, Delani, and we stand and we support you, not just our college graduates, but our high school graduates. We want to thank everyone who showed up, the alumni associations, all of our faith partners and community. And again, the goal was an action plan. An action plan. So we have heard from you. Many of you have sent in issues not covered here today. We are not ignoring you. You have our commitment that we will respond to you. What we're going to do at the minute is to compile this information in a strategic plan around the economic empowerment and development piece. Again, if you're interested in being a part of that work group, please make sure that you visit us at www.janed.org. At this point in time, we would like to remind you to join us for Caribbean American Heritage Month. Dr. Claire Nelson have asked some pivotal questions, which we are working on as a Caribbean community in Caribbean Heritage Month. We will have a diaspora engagement live stream with the Southeast, my counterpart, and Dr. Nelson on I'm way gone, right? In June 15th to kick off Caribbean American Heritage Month and the Diaspora Engagement Day. So I want to thank each of you for being here. Please forgive us because we were short on time. I'm going to ask that Jazz please close us out with some reflections as certainly the president of the New Jersey organization. So Jasmine, who is the president, please close us out with some reflections. Thank you, and let's stay connected and walk good. Jasmine, you have the final words.
Thank you, Dr. Dunkley. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think so. Thanks for the opportunity to be a part of this forum. And I think that if nothing else, the COVID-19 crisis has taught us that we are capable of swift and impactful response when we want to be swift and impactful. So I am as you mentioned, the new president, and we've had to hit the ground running. Just two key things that came out of this evening that I'd like to highlight. What Ambassador Curtis said about us looking ahead and planning for what's going to happen when we come out of the immediate crisis, because there's still certainly going to be a lot of people who are still in crisis, just in a different way. And also just to say that the diversity in the diaspora bringing us to, is important, because we need a diversity of ideas. And so to your point, Dr. Dunkley, that we have the diaspora, you don't have to be a professional of a certain level to take part. And it's important because we want to get ideas from a broad selection. We want to bring all those ideas together to have more impactful action. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. The Jamaican Organization of New Jersey, or John Jay, we love to collaborate, and feel free to reach out to us for anything that is needed. So our email address is jamaicaorg.nj@gmail.com. And the phone number is 848-228-2976. Thanks again for bringing us together like this. It's really been an informative and impactful session, and we look forward to more of these. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Again, we will share our mid-year report with everyone. We ask that you please stay in touch with us. Send us an email quickly, and we will make sure that we continue to stay in touch. Donahue Bailey, in his words, the diaspora is not an organization, it is a movement of people from Jamaica. So let us move together, one love, walk good, tune in to Erwin Clear and Lester Hines with the Minister of Health, Dr. Chris Stoughton. Love you, my Jamaican people. Peace.
Blessings.